Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. Here comes a spoiler review. Alright everybody, this is my spoiler review, so if you don't want any spoilers, turn back now, because you've been thusly alerted to the spoilers herein. Alright, in the beginning of the movie, we see Batman's origin again. We've seen it a million times, and now we've seen it 1,000,001. Which is fine by me. It was just in the opening credits. It establishes Bruce Wayne's character and his motivations, and then we're reminded of what happened at the end of Man of Steel with the world engine in the middle of Metropolis terraforming the Kryptonian atmosphere, and it's lifting things up and smashing them into the ground, and then Bruce Wayne is running toward it. He's running into the danger, because he is the danger. What I didn't like about that sequence, though, is that Bruce Wayne calls one of his employees in the building and he's like, "Hey, get out of that building." And then the guy's looking out the window at all of this destruction going down in Metropolis and he's like, "Okay, I guess I'll get out of the building now." I thought that was pretty dumb. You'd get out of the building a lot sooner than that. I love the dynamic between the new Alfred, played by Jeremy Irons, and Batfleck. I like that Jeremy Irons is always working on the Batmobile or fixing one of the suits, and he still finds time to be a butler and serve tea. There's a nice subtle moment where he's serving tea. You get a true sense that Alfred and Bruce Wayne have been doing this for a long time, and now Bruce Wayne is starting to go off the rails. He's starting to become a little cruel. He's branding people. Later on in the movie, he's just straight up killing people. Batman kills in this movie. There's even a dream sequence where he's using guns. It's actually a pretty cool Steadicam shot where he's fighting a bunch of different agents of Superman. Part of that dream sequence, you see the Omega symbol in the dirt, which is Darkseid's foreshadowing his arrival. Lois Lane in this movie pretty much exists to be rescued by Superman. She gets rescued, I think, at least 3 times. She's being held hostage in the desert and Superman shows up and she kind of like looks at Superman and is like, "Take care of this guy," and Superman smashes him through a wall and I guess kills the guy. It seems like he just goes ahead and kills the dude. I think the movie does a good job of building up why Batman wants to fight Superman. Batman doesn't like the fact that there's an all-powerful being on Earth. He perceives him as a threat to humanity. Meanwhile, Jesse Eisenberg is going for it in the role of Lex Luthor. I just didn't go there with him. He plays Lex Luthor more as a crazy guy, a neurotic guy, instead of more of a cool-headed genius who is sinister and conniving. And he's more of a spoiled rich kid. He gets whatever he wants. He gains access to the Kryptonian ship. He gains access to Zod's body. I didn't really like that he cuts Zod's fingerprints off to access the ship. He could have just used Zod's hand. But obviously, there's a major problem with the storytelling. It keeps bouncing back and forth. It doesn't know if it wants to be a Batman movie. It doesn't know if it wants to be a Superman movie. And then, of course, they crowbar in the Dawn of Justice. They literally introduce us to the rest of the Justice League in an email. I thought that was kind of weak and just an advertisement for future movies, where a movie should just be self-contained. You shouldn't have to rely on things outside of the movie. Getting back to the title, Batman vs. Superman, you'd expect them to encounter each other a bunch. I did, however, like their first encounter and that whole sequence leading up to it. That car chase was spectacular. Zack Snyder's really good at that. He's really good at designing action sequences. Not so much the storytelling, but the action sequences are really, really great. And I like that the Batmobile just smashes into Superman and it just deflects off of him, and Superman rips open the Batmobile. The thing I liked about that moment is Batman just stands right up to him and he's like, "What?" But Superman's just like, "Hey, you Batman, you better cut it out. I don't want to see you doing this anymore. Cut it out, Batman." And by the time you actually get to the fight, you really get a sense that Batman has a reason to destroy Superman, especially after Superman shows up at the Capitol building and the Capitol building explodes. Batman, earlier in the movie, says, "You know, we can't just break into LexCorp and steal the kryptonite." But once the Capitol building explodes, Batman's like, "Fuck it." I thought that was a nice sequence when Lex Luthor walks in and the kryptonite's missing and there's just a batarang stuck in there. I also like when we first see Batman and he's up in the corner like a demon, hiding in the corner and just runs and crawls along the ceiling and gets out. All of the stuff with Batman is great. But Superman's motivation to fight Batman isn't really there. Earlier on in the movie, they seem to be building up to the reason why Superman would want to fight Batman, because Clark Kent doesn't agree with what the Bat of Gotham is up to. But Superman just wants to fight Batman to save his own mom. I would have found it much more compelling if they really had animosity toward each other and wanted to fight the other guy. By the time Superman shows up, he wants to just talk to Batman and say, "Hey, listen, help me out. I need to save my mom." But Batman's like, "I spent all this time and money setting this up. Now we have to fight because the title of the movie is Batman vs. Superman." But the sequence is great. The Soundwave machine, the Miami Sound machine, the Soundwave machine that was holding Superman just picks up the manhole cover and smashes it. And then Batman had guns come up these turrets and they were shooting Superman, but then you're like, Superman's bulletproof. Why is he trying to shoot him? And why didn't he just lace those bullets with kryptonite? Because he had tons of kryptonite at that point. He could have laced the bullets with kryptonite and it would have been all over. But they just wanted to show the audience, hey, look, Superman is bulletproof and he can destroy things with his heat vision. So he destroys all the guns and then does the Bruce Lee 1-inch punch on Batman, and Batman goes flying. Batman did get the upper hand. Batman was about to kill Superman. It was about to all be over. But then there's the whole Martha situation. I didn't hate that. I thought that was okay. I thought that Batman's core motivation is the fact that his parents died. So he's like, listen, I'm going to promise you that your mom's not going to die tonight. I liked that part. That was cool. I didn't hate the fact that Doomsday was in it. I just wish he looked better. He didn't look that cool. He was a little rubbery. All he did was jump around and explode. I didn't get that power. He just kept exploding because Zack Snyder just likes to blow shit up. I thought it was a little annoying. When they land on Stryker's Island, they're clear to say, oh, Stryker's Island is uninhabited. And when Batman lures Doomsday back to the city or the harbor, he says, oh, the harbor is deserted. They really wanted to apologize for the fact that they were just blowing up cities in Metropolis with complete disregard for the human life around. I thought it was pretty cool when Wonder Woman shows up. She saves Batman's life. Batman, after that, is useless. He just keeps hiding from Doomsday's laser face blast. I liked Wonder Woman. She was kick-ass. We get to see her use her bracelets. We get to see her use her magic lasso. I really like her theme music. The score throughout the movie, though, kind of beats you over the head. It's very apocalyptic sounding, and I get it, because they set up earlier on in this movie that it's really about God versus man versus the devil, and it's Doomsday, and it's the end of the world, and they really want you to know that through the music. Her theme music is badass. And of course, we get to the end of the movie where Superman dies, for now, because he'll be back, because you can't have a Justice League without a Superman. The major problems I had with this movie was that it felt like a whole season of a Netflix series condensed into one movie, or like 5 feature-length movies just crammed into one. It didn't know what movie it wanted to be. If it wanted to be a Batman movie, or if it wanted to be a Superman movie, or if it wanted to be a Dawn of Justice movie. And the way they teased the other members of the Justice League movies just felt like an advertisement for future installments. So overall, this movie's really like a Thanksgiving dinner. You got all these different dishes, all these competing flavors on one plate, but by the end of it, you feel stuffed. The movie's definitely overstuffed. I can't eat another bite. If you go into this movie thinking it's a drama, you won't be as disappointed, I think. It's very much a drama. It's like the No Country for Old Men for superhero movies. There's not that much humor in it. It's a pretty somber ending. Superman's in the casket. He's dead, but he's not dead. See the little floaty particles on his casket, so we know that he's gonna come back. I still think this movie is worthwhile. I didn't hate this movie. I don't relate to the absurdly low Metacritic rating. I think this movie has its merits. It definitely has a lot of problems, but it's still an enjoyable experience. So what are your feelings on this movie? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Do you agree with the 29% Metacritic rating on Rotten Tomatoes? Let me know in the comments below. Give this video a like and subscribe to this channel. And if you want to find out how you can register to vote, click my face at the end of this video or check for a link in the description below. I'm Aristotle Full Throttle, and I'll see you later.